Hey everyone, it's Lauren. Today we're going to be talking about a really cool new techie skincare device that I've been testing out for about the last month, and that is the Droplette. It is, I think, one of the most revolutionary skincare devices that I have seen in a very long time. I love anything kind of techie. I really loved the Aloe Vera Plus red light therapy. I still use that all the time. I did a blog post about that some time ago because I think it's really fascinating how it works. But the Droplette, what makes this device special, I'm sure you're wondering, like, what does this little egg do? So most skincare products tend to sit on the top of your skin and they don't actually penetrate, at least not very effectively. And so what the Droplette does is it helps products penetrate the skin 20 cell layers thick. And on top of that, it makes the droplets 10,000 times smaller than most skincare products that you use. I happen to think that the backstory of Droplette is really kind of noble. So it was created by Madhavi Kavini and Rathi Srinivas, and they are a therapeutics designer and medical diagnostics developer. And they were attending a conference for epidermolysis bullosa, which is essentially a skin condition where the skin doesn't attach to the muscle, and it can be very, very painful, create different lesions and skin blistering. And if you've ever heard of butterfly children, this is that condition, and it's just incredibly painful. So they sought to create a device that could deliver drugs and therapeutics into the skin without being painful. And so as they were creating this, they realized what they created could be used for skincare in general. But they ordered parts off of eBay and worked on it on their kitchen table, essentially. And that is how Droplette was born. So I just think that's a really cool, humble background and really just has such a pure intent of wanting to help people that need it most. And the fact that it's now translated into a way to help a lot of people with just skincare in general, I think is incredibly cool. So I'm sure you're wondering, how does it work? So essentially what you do is you pop a little capsule into here, and when you turn it on, the serum goes through what is called a piezoelectric transducer. And what this does is it vibrates because of electricity, and when the fluids go through it, it comes out as an aerosol, and it is about 4 microns thick, which makes it very, very easy to go through the skin. There's also a pump that helps to push that product through onto your skin. It expels it even faster than just the piezo alone. And so it makes those droplets an additional 30 to 50% smaller. So they really almost kind of, almost like inject into the skin because of that high velocity, but you don't feel anything painful at all. It's absolutely fascinating to me. Normally when you spray a mist on your face, you're going to spray it and then you will have some of those droplets kind of, not coagulate, but collect together on the skin, and they're just sitting there rather than actually going into the skin. And that's why when you spray your face with a mist, a traditional mist, it feels wet, where when you use the Droplette, it feels dry and like almost immediately. So I think it's really cool because this particular device was funded by NASA. They really believe in the science behind this, and there's a lot of clinical studies that back it all up. Droplette is also continuing to work with Walter Reed Army Institute to help treat soldiers' blast wounds. Again, it's kind of it's a unique technology that has multiple applications, and I think it's just really cool that it started in the medical field and again has trickled over into everyday skincare. So let's talk a little bit about what you get when you purchase the Droplette. And then I'll do a demonstration afterwards. So to get started with Droplette, you have to have the actual device itself. And when you purchase this, this is $2.99. and it comes with a charging base. And then you pick the capsules that you want to use. There are 3 different types, and they mail them to you in a little box like this. You can get either a month-long subscription, so if you were to use 1 capsule every day, or you can get a 12-pack. And the price difference on those is $79 for the month's worth, and then $39 for 2 weeks worth, essentially. I also just thought it was kind of cute whenever they mailed this. They sent me like a little scrunchie to match with their coloring and branding. And I don't have it on right now, but like I love scrunchies like this because I sleep with them. I just thought it was like such a cute little additional perk. Something to know about the actual capsules themselves. They come like this. They are plastic and they cannot be recycled. But don't worry, they thought ahead on this. And so what they do is they send you a pre-labeled bag and you can ship all of your capsules back to them for them to recycle. So I think that I remember listening to a podcast and I think that they've mentioned that they might eventually do something a little bit different with the packaging. I don't really know, but that's what they have right now. You're able to send your recycled pieces back to them. So it's not like a completely wasteful thing to do. I'm glad that they thought of that because like personally, I try really hard not to be super wasteful. It's also really hard when I do review things and I would like to be more eco-conscious and not just have plastic waste everywhere. So I appreciate that they give you the option to mail them back. So there are 3 different types of capsules. I purchased 2 of them, one of which is a 0.15% retinol, which is this little guy with the red. There is a 10% collagen capsule, which is the yellow. And then there's an 8% glycolic acid capsule, which I did not purchase just because my skin tends to be a little more sensitive and things with acids kind of irritate my skin and give me problems. At least right now. I might eventually try that capsule, but I don't necessarily have a huge need for it either. So I stuck with things that I knew would benefit me pretty immediately. Just for the record, prior to using these, I had been using a retinol. So I think my skin was already kind of adjusted to a retinol, but I will say this particular retinol is actually very, very gentle. I didn't see any dryness, any peeling, any weird things like that. So let's talk a little bit more about what is in each of these capsules. So they have very limited ingredients in them. They don't have to have a high concentration of preservatives. And because of the way that they're formulated, it's able to push a lot more water into the skin and it retains in the skin longer than like a topical serum. So in the 10% collagen, there is an ingredient called arginine, which is a short chain peptide. And essentially it helps to create new collagen in the skin. But the most interesting thing I learned about this is that it acts as a kind of muscle contraction inhibitor, which if you're kind of familiar with those types of things within beauty, that's what Botox does. So essentially, in a way, this particular capsule acts a little bit like topical Botox, and it kind of freezes those muscles so you're not going to continue to like move, your face in a way that's going to make those lines bunch up. I was absolutely fascinated by this particular capsule, and there's 2 peptides, vitamin C and turmeric. So I have to say, this particular capsule, the 10% collagen, really has like a visible result for me. Like it is my favorite. It is one of those ones that my skin just looks so glowing and fresh after using it. And I just love what it does for my skin. Now, the other capsule that I purchased was the 0.15% retinol. And it also works to kind of even the skin tone out. If you know, retinol is designed to help cellular turnover. It's a vitamin A derivative, and they actually added in an ingredient called arbutin, which is like a hydroquinone derivative, which will help to even out pigmentation, which I thought was really interesting. And they also added rose oil to help counteract the dryness of retinols. And I'll bring you in kind of close here. So you can see I've got just a very subtle fine line through here. I don't have too many lines happening on my face. I feel like they were more intensive a month ago. I'm so mad because I took a before photo and I've had storage issues with all of my tech stuff, and I no longer have that before photo, and I'm so mad. But when you look at my skin, you can see I have just a little tiny bit of pigmentation, kind of, just sporadic. It's nothing serious. It's gotten lighter. And these lines, I feel like everything has kind of just filled in a little bit more. You can actually go to their website. They have a lot of before and after photos. They did clinical studies with their products, and they have people's faces like resting in the same spot, so it's not like zoomed out or weird or anything. The lighting is exactly the same. You can see like freckles are in the exact same spot, that sort of thing. So it really does work. As for the glycolic, like I said, I have not tried that one personally, but it's kind of a loaded powerhouse also. It's got AHAs, BHAs, PHAs, which I've never even heard of, niacinamide, which is going to help with that skin barrier. It has I think it's tripeptide 1, which is kind of like a dermatologist sweetheart because it's really good for kind of just your overall skin health, and salicylic acid to clear out your pores. So I think it would be a really amazing one if you have had a lot of skin congestion. Personally, I don't have a lot of breakouts. I don't really feel a need for that. And also with the retinol, my skin is already a little more sensitive, I feel like. So great option though, I think, if you do struggle with really congested pores and breakouts. But I have not tried it. So anyway, so all of these come on a subscription basis. It auto renews. I believe I have another box of the retinol on the way, unless it auto renewed the glow, like the collagen glow as well. Next time I will be getting a box of probably the collagen and then a smaller one of the retinol. Basically, when you start using this, I remember them saying using it once per day for like the first month, and then after that you can kind of taper off and go like every other day. I mean, you can see this box. This box is kind of a mixture because I put my collagen capsules from the small 12 pack into the retinol box. So I've been using it for a while now. And so I'm going to show you how to use it. Now, this, you first charge it on this little charging base, and it just rests in here very easily, like so. And normally when it's plugged in, it will light up as well. I have to say the amount of time that this holds a charge is like mind-blowing to me. I literally charged it when I first got it, and I haven't charged it again since. So it's been like, I think 4 weeks of going on the same charge. It's incredible. So the other thing too, when you get these little capsules, you'll notice there's some blue ones on the end. That is the cleaning solution. So basically when you get to the end of a row, you pop in one of the little cleaning capsules and you turn it on and you just aim it at the drain of your sink. It'll clear it all out. I do notice when I'm usually like the last pod before I pop in the cleaning pod, it seems like the fluid is maybe having a harder time coming out. Like sometimes it'll kind of like, you won't notice like the mist coming out for a couple seconds and then it'll pop back out. The other thing too, you want to make sure when you are using this that you are moving it around your face, and I think that kind of helps the serum to continue to flow. So like I said, I'm going to show you how to do this. You take out one of your little pods, give it a little shake, and then you open up this. And on this little pod, you'll notice there's that little groove. That groove fits into that top portion right there. So you just push that into there like so, and then you pop it down. Once I pop it down, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's 15-second intervals, and what they recommend you do to apply it is go from one side of your face, one side of your face, one side of your face. I also tip my head back so that mist is falling. It really goes kind of all around your face. I'll speed through it so you're not just sitting there watching me, misting my face. And then once you have actually finished the first cycle, they recommend that you turn it on another time because sometimes there's a little bit of extra serum in there. So you want to get the most of each pod, and you can kind of just go all over your face or your neck, wherever you see fit. I think you could probably even do your hands, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to show you how this works, and then we'll talk a little bit more in my kind of closing thoughts on this. Okay, that's it. And if you look at my skin, it looks fresh and glowy, but it's not like wet to the touch. I think within the first minute, you might feel a little tiny bit of dampness, but that's it. Like there's not like an intensive, like wet feeling or look to the skin because it's going directly into the skin. I think that is just so cool. So once you're done with this, you want to make sure that you pop out your pod pretty immediately, and you can see it punctures the bottom of it, and then all of the serum comes out. And then I just pop this into my little baggie that I'm going to mail back to them. And I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it. I typically let it sit open because I want it to make sure that it dries out. They do recommend that you take the pod out pretty immediately so that none of the remaining fluid seeps down in there and causes problems with your device later on. So I leave mine open just to dry, just to be, make sure that nothing weird happens because it's an expensive device. One of the things I can say about my experience using this, as you could see, that mist is so fine and it goes all over the place. And there's something about the smell. It's like a little overwhelming if you're breathing that in. I don't think it would harm you in any way, but I try not to breathe a whole bunch just because I find the smell of the pods to be a little sharp. I know that's kind of a funny thing. And I think people have said it's more intensive with like glycolic. And I actually find that like it kind of bugs me even with just the other two pods. So I just, kind of hold my breath and move away, take a breath and, continue on with the treatment. But I think it's a really, really innovative device. And I think that the results are real and they are backed up by science, and the overall science of this product is so cool. And the fact that it benefits the medical community and was initially created for the medical community for a terrible disease, I think is just really, really cool. So I am really excited to see what else Droplette will come up with. I first heard of this device because of Kirby Johnson from Los Angeles. She had just kind of mentioned this in passing in one of the episodes. Like she and Sarah were talking about something kind of new things that they're trying. And she just kind of mentioned this as a blip. And I remember being like, what is that? And I remember looking it up. And so I ordered it. It took a long time to get here. I think it was backed up for 6 to 8 weeks. And I was so antsy to get my hands on it because I was I need to start trying it. When I try new skincare, I don't rush to give a review because I want to make sure that I'm actually seeing some type of result, that I'm not having reactions, that I can actually give you a solid opinion on skincare. I don't rush skincare, and I don't try a lot of new skincare all at once. I'm very, very thorough and slow with my skincare. And I try not to introduce a bunch of new things all at once because I want to actually see what that individual product will do. So yeah, overall, I think it is a pricey investment, but it works and it's really, really cool. And it's unlike anything I've ever used before. I'm very excited to see whatever it is that they'll come out with next, because it goes beyond my comprehension of what I expected from skincare, if that makes sense. So I hope that this has been informative and helpful. And if you've never heard of it, I highly recommend checking it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, if it was helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps my channel to be more visible to other people, and it will make it easier for me to continue doing these types of videos for you all. I really enjoy this, and I think it's a lot of fun getting to share new finds with you. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.